Hello and welcome to IELTS Master. Today we will be having a video on task 2 IELTS writing. So let's begin the video today. For today the topic is some people believe that the government should invest more money in education than in sports. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So the topic is on agreement and disagreement. And for this kind of questions, we can simply completely agree or completely disagree, or we can partially just balance out the essay. So let's start with the sample answer. In recent years, there has been an ongoing debate about whether government funding should prioritize education over sports. So this first line is trying to summarize the first line of the question, but it is trying to use different words. But yeah, government is government. So we cannot try to put any kind of synonyms, and it like during exam you get less time. So trying to think about every single synonym of every single word should be cumbersome. Like it would take time. So it's better to put government like that. Sports as is, education as is, right? Okay. While some people argue that education should receive more financial support, others believe that sports play an equally important role in society. In my opinion, the government should indeed allocate more resources to education, but without neglecting the importance of sports. So here we are trying to balance the situation. So we are trying to partially believe, like partially agree, or maybe partially disagree, right? On one hand, education is the cornerstone of a nation's future. It is through education that individuals gain the skills and knowledge necessary to contribute to the workforce and the economy. So, yes, education is really important in our life. Why? Because with the help of education, we will be gaining skills. We will be learning maths. We will be learning different, like computing skills. And learning those skills will be helping us in our work, daily to daily life. Moreover, a well educated population can drive innovation, promote social cohesion, and reduce poverty. So if we have well educated generation or well educated people, it will be helpful for the society itself. Therefore, it is essential that governments invest in quality education at all levels, from primary schools to universities, to ensure that every citizen has access to learning opportunities. So government should definitely be putting some money or like spending some money. They should be allocating some money for education, and that too like quality education. That is the first like the part that I'm trying to explain. Let's dive into the essay. So the second part we will be saying, on the other hand, sports also offer significant benefits to individuals and society as a whole. So, first body we try to say why education, second body we are trying to say why sports. Physical activity promotes health, reduces the risk of chronic diseases, and fosters teamwork and discipline. So, physical activity, it improves health. We know that. Risk of chronic diseases like heart diseases, obesity, and then it fosters teamwork. The more you play different kinds of sport, the more you befriend with different kinds of people from different background, and also discipline, because every individual sports come with their own set of rules and regulations that you follow, and that's how you are becoming disciplined. Moreover, successful athletes can bring international recognition to a country, as well as boost the economy through tourism and sponsorship deals. However, despite these benefits, sports should not take precedence over education in terms of government funding. Now, sports should not be given more weightage when it comes to allocating the money for the government. That's what we are trying to say here. In conclusion, while sports are important for promoting health and national pride, I believe that the government should prioritize education when it comes to investment. So, although I'm partially agreeing with this topic, but my inclination is towards government funding for quality education. So, even I'm going like partial, I'm taking a partial approach, but inclination is towards education. Hmm. A strong education system is fundamental to a nation's long term prosperity and development. That being said, the government should still allocate a reasonable budget to sports to ensure that the population maintains a healthy and active lifestyle. So, education comes first. That's the motto. But your health is wealth. So, there is like both statements, they are not contradictory, they are kind of like they are complement each other. You need education, also you need your health, so for your health you need sports, right? Now let's just check some of the vocabularies that we have prepared that should be important for this essay. The first word is debate, so the synonym can be discussion or argument, discussion, disagreement, controversy. The usage in the essay is there has been an ongoing debate about whether government funding should prioritize education over sports. Prioritize, to treat something as more important. So it's about like giving priorities to someone, right? So from priority, prioritize. That's the word is coming from. And the synonyms is give priority to, emphasize, focus on. The usage in the essay we can see the government should prioritize education over sports. Allocate, to distribute, assign resources for a specific purpose. We allocate money, we budget money, so that's allocate. Synonym is assign, distribute, apportion. Usage in the essay is the government should allocate more resources to education. Cornerstone, a fundamental element or basis of something. Synonyms, foundation, pillar, key element. Usage in the essay, education is the cornerstone of a nation's future. Next, contribute, to give or to add to something. Synonym is add, donate, play a part in. For example, we say that, oh, we are trying to host a party for this person. You have to contribute something. The usage in the essay is it is through education that individuals gain the skills and knowledge necessary to contribute to the workforce and the economy. Next word is promote, which means to encourage or support something. Synonyms, encourage, foster, support. Usage in the essay, physical activity promotes health. Next word is fundamental, which means basic, essential. Synonyms: essential, basic, crucial. Usage in the essay: a strong education system is fundamental to a nation's long-term prosperity. Our next word is neglecting, which is failing to give proper attention to something. Synonyms: overlooking, ignoring, disregarding. Usage in the essay: without neglecting the importance of sports. Next word is prosperity, which means success, wealth, and good fortune. The synonyms are success, wealth, economic growth. Usage in the essay is a strong education system is fundamental to a nation's long-term prosperity. The last word is chronic diseases, long-lasting disease that can often be controlled but not cured. For example, asthma. It is a chronic disease. Synonyms: long-term health conditions, persistent diseases, ongoing health issues. Usage in the essay: physical activity promotes health and reduces the risk of chronic diseases. So, from this essay, we have seen all these words can have their vocabulary. Now, the important thing is why this answer works. Like, why should I be watching the video? Why should I be taking notes? Why? Why this sample is beneficial for me? So, firstly, it has a clear structure. So, the essay, it is divided. Introduction, there are two bodies, so body paragraphs, and we have balanced out the essay. And also, we have provided a conclusion stating that although both are important, I am more inclined towards education. So, this structure is really critical for a coherent argument in IELTS task to writing, because it is not only you are like blindly following something like, yes, I totally agree with this, no, I totally disagree with that, something like that, but you are trying to give logical arguments like why you think this is important, but this one has an edge over this one. And again, it's a balanced view. That's what we said in the beginning. It's a balanced view. So while we are agreeing that the education should be prioritized, we are also saying that sports is equally important, but education clearly is like better than, like, if you are allocating fund, first should be education, then it should be sports, something like that. Effective vocabulary use. So the vocabulary that I have given, it's not like something that only a few number of students who are just like the toppers, they will be grasping it. Even somebody who is having issues with vocabulary or IELTS writing, they will be easily catching that because I have given a list of synonyms. If you're having trouble with some kind of words, switch it to a different word. That's the trick for IELTS. We are not repeating any kind of words, or we are not trying to use some words that people don't use in their daily life, but we are trying to explain it in such a way that you can connect to any examiner or maybe your friend who is just reading your essay. And also, this kind of essay will be fetching 7+ bands to be to be sure. Yeah, I'm sure on that. So with that being said, we will be providing some tips for IELTS task 2 writing. First is try to understand the question. Make sure what the question is asking. Is it agree or disagree only? Because there are some questions which are like, do you agree or disagree? For those essays, if you're trying to give to what extent you are agreeing or disagreeing, that is not what the question is asking you. But again, if it is asking to what extent, you may be like completely agreeing or completely disagreeing. But there is also A third option that you can balance it out. And if you can balance it out, it would be the best thing because not everybody can balance the essays quite well. Sometimes there are contradictions in body para 1 and body para 2, and those are the things that you should be avoiding. If you think that you cannot balance it out in a better way, like you would be contradicting, it's better to go in like complete option. Just take the complete like agreement or disagreement rather than contradicting. Because contradicting won't give you high band score, even though you are using like top-notch vocabulary. So next point is provide a clear opinion. If your opinion is like contradiction, for example, it's not clear. You are trying to say something, and the next body you are like the body para, you are trying to completely go opposite for that. Don't do that. That will be like devastating. That will be having devastating results. So just don't do that. That will be a recipe for disaster. Third is using linking words. Linking words, those are something that comes naturally to some people, and some people have to like remember that they have to make a list and try to think over and over, try to force it in their writing. But whatever, try to put those linking words. But if you practice more and more, it will be coming naturally. So words like however, on the other hand, therefore, in conclusion, and so on, including examples. If you're providing specific examples, it helps to support your points. And again, providing example in every single body para is not that important, but when you think that you can provide an example to support something, like the first two lines you are writing quite well, the third line, when it comes to that line, you're like, oh, what should I write? I'm out of words, I'm out of ideas. Just provide an example and try to put all the thoughts that you're providing in that body para into that example. You can just have a common example, maybe a friend of yours who is practicing sports. He has well-built body and you have never seen him falling sick, something like that. Or maybe for education, you know somebody whose parents they have invested in their child's education, or maybe the government has provided scholarship, something like that. Like education, the government has provided scholarship to a group of girls in my locality, and now those girls they are applying for prestigious colleges. Some of them are even going abroad to study in Canada, in the US, anything like that you can say. The last thing is avoid overly complex structures. Yes. So when I was practicing my IELTS, I was the person who was using complex structures like complex sentences. And my trainers or my teachers, whoever used to check my writing, they used to say, try to avoid the complexities. If you write these kind of sentences, the examiner won't understand what you're trying to portray. So that was something because I was a kid, so I had no idea how to write for an IELTS test too. Because yeah, in schools they don't teach you like that, right? But yeah, when I took that like 1 month class, like a crash course in IELTS, I get to know like, yeah, you should not be writing the complex sentences. Put everything simple. The simple you go with like good grasp in vocabulary, the better it is for your band score. But yeah, also try to use linking words. Linking words, like the usage of linking words, does not mean that you are trying to make complex sentences. That's the thing. And yeah, in schools they teach you complex compound and every kind of sentences. That does not work that much in your IELTS. In your IELTS, it's like how you can put your thoughts into pen, like into that writing task too, using pen and paper, and try to comprehend what you're writing to somebody else. That's how you kill it in your IELTS task too. And it's not that different, like not that hard. That being said, it's the end of our task two. And if you guys are taking exams, so all the best for that. And I hope you like this essay. If you like this, kindly share this to your friends anybody who is taking exam or preparing for IELTS, and also subscribe to my channel. Hope to provide you with more videos soon. Take care.